Ever heard of a global superstar who got their start singing in a church choir?
Well, that's Anita in a nutshell.
Okay, maybe not exactly a nutshell.
True. We're talking about a church choir at 8 years old in a Rio neighborhood, Honorio Gurgle, to be precise. Not exactly known for churning out pop icons.
Yeah, not your typical pop star origin story. So, how did she go from those humble beginnings to becoming, as Paper Magazine put it, the queen of Brazilian pop?
It's a fascinating journey, full of hustle, strategy, and a whole lot of talent, but I think that's what makes her story so compelling.
Absolutely. And that's what we're diving into today. We've got excerpts from her Wikipedia page, info on her latest album, Funk Generation, and that super interesting Paper Magazine profile.
Plenty of material to unpack, but before we get ahead of ourselves, we need to go back to the beginning.
All right, so church choir in Rio. It screams raw talent and ambition, right?
Oh, absolutely. That detail alone tells you a lot about her drive. She wasn't handed anything on a silver platter. She had to work for it.
And work she did. Speaking of which, let's talk about her early career moves. Because this is where we really start to see the strategy behind her rise. What were some of those early decisions that set her apart?
Well, first and foremost, she secured a record deal right after releasing her debut single, Mega e Abusada.
Wow, talk about hitting the ground running.
Right. That's not just luck, that's knowing your worth and having the confidence to go after what you want.
And she definitely knew what she was doing. I mean, she recognized the importance of connecting with fans through live performance early on.
Which is crucial in Brazil, right?
Absolutely. Live shows are everything for building a dedicated fan base there.
And she was smart about it, releasing live albums from those early tours to really capitalize on that energy.
Smart move. But then comes the Checkmate project. This is where things get really interesting.
Oh yeah, 2017. Anitta went into overdrive.
Tell me she didn't.
She did a new song every single month. New track, new video, boom.
Whoa. That's unheard of, right?
Pretty much, especially in Brazil at that time. Nobody was doing that, especially not on that scale.
Pure genius. Talk about a way to keep people talking and engaged.
Exactly. Every month there was something new to get excited about, kept her name in the headlines, and fueled her growing fan base. It was a brilliant marketing strategy, really.
Okay, so she's killing it in Brazil, but the world is a big place. How do you go from Portuguese to top in the global charts? That feels like a whole other challenge.
It is, and Anita knew that from the start. She didn't just stumble into global stardom, she strategized her way there.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. Lay it on me.
Well, for starters, she's fluent in not one, but 3 languages. Portuguese, English, Spanish, all in her back pocket. But it's what she did with those languages that was key.
You mean like releasing music in different languages?
That was part of it, yeah. But her real secret weapon, strategic collaborations.
Ah, the collabs. It seemed like every other week she was working with a new global superstar.
Exactly. But these weren't just random pairings. Think about it. Iggy Azalea, J Balvin, Major Lazer, each one gave her access to a whole new audience, a new genre, a new part of the world.
So it wasn't just about star power. It was about tapping into existing fan bases, using those collabs as bridges to global recognition.
Exactly. A fan of Iggy Azalea might not typically listen to Brazilian funk, but put them on a track together. Suddenly, Anita's music is on their radar. It was genius, really.
Such a smart strategy. But even with all the planning in the world, no one could have predicted the phenomenon that was Involver.
Involver was a game changer, no doubt. 2021, the song drops, and boom, global domination, Spotify, Billboard, even a Guinness World Record.
It's almost too much to wrap your head around. What was it about that song that resonated so globally?
Involver wasn't just catchy, it was a cultural moment. For the first time, a Brazilian song, sung mostly in Spanish, was at the top of the global charts and on its own merit. No big-name feature, no English remix.
But Anita, her sound, her way.
Exactly. It proved that Brazilian artists could compete on a global scale without compromising their musical identity.
Which leads us to Funk Generation, her latest album, and a bold statement in itself. She walked away from a major label, very publicly I might add, after a battle for creative control, to sign with Republic.
Talk about taking the reins. That move showed the industry that Anita was calling the shots. She had a vision and she was going to see it through.
And that vision, well, it's all about bringing Brazilian funk to the world.
Funk Generation is more than just an album. It's a statement. She's redefining Latin music as the world knows it, putting Brazilian funk front and center.
And the world is paying attention. I mean, she's everywhere. Magazine covers, social media, even snagged a spot on Billboard's list of the most influential artists globally.
Alongside some seriously heavy hitters in the music industry, not just a Brazilian phenomenon anymore.
No, she's gone fully global. But what's really interesting is how she's using that influence. It's not just about the music, right?
Absolutely not. She's using her platform to speak out on important issues, championing LGBTQ rights, pushing for social justice. It's inspiring to see.
It really is. And it speaks to her authenticity, I think. She's not afraid to use her voice for what she believes in. But, okay, back to Funk Generation for a sec. We talked about cultural export.
Right.
Do you think this album has what it takes to really solidify Brazilian funk's place in the global music scene?
You know, I think it's already happening. We're seeing more and more artists incorporating those Brazilian funk rhythms into their music, and it's not just a passing trend, it feels like a real shift.
Like she's opened the door, and now everyone wants a taste of that Brazilian flavor.
Exactly. And for Anitta to be leading that charge, staying true to her roots while making waves globally,
It's powerful.
it really is. She's showing the world that you don't have to compromise who you are to achieve international success. If anything, your uniqueness is your strength.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Funk Generation, with its blend of classic funk and modern pop elements, it's the perfect example of that. Bridging cultures, breaking down barriers, and it's just damn good music.
So well said. As we wrap up this deep dive, one last question for you. What does Anitta's journey, especially with Funk Generation, tell us about the future of music? Are we heading towards a more globally connected soundscape?
It's the question, isn't it? But if Anitta's any indication, and I think she is, audiences are ready for something new, something different. They don't care what language it's in, as long as it's authentic.
Yeah.
And that is incredibly exciting. Music without borders. It's a beautiful thing.
It really is.
Anitta's story is a testament to the power of ambition, talent, and staying true to yourself. And on that note, we'll leave you to explore the world of Anitta and experience the magic of Brazilian funk for yourselves. Until next time, keep those brains curious.